I remember having really clear summers my whole life here, running around the park that's behind us, and like even today it's smoky. I was evacuated from my home 2 years ago because of the forest fires. It's such like a prominent thing in the summer now. Like it's not the same Kamloops as I grew up in anymore.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We're talking about climate action, taking action, of course, against climate change and all of the amazing things that can be done to tackle that. Can one of you maybe explain to us what Youth Climate Corps is? I mean, I know it involves youth and maybe just giving them a chance to get out there and be part of the change. Is that kind of how you would sum it up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're based out of Nelson. There are programs in several communities in BC right now, some on the island, some in the interior, all over the place. And we're really just focused on employing youth in roles that would otherwise typically go to volunteers in tangible climate action.
Wow, that's great. So it's a chance to be employed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So why did you get involved? Shannon, why did you get involved? Is this something you care a lot about?
Yeah, especially growing up in Kamloops and just watching the environment slowly change is definitely like, we need to do something right now. So
good for you.
I feel so lucky to be working for Youth Climate Corps, for sure.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about what's happening locally. I mean,
We were very fortunate to receive some funding from BC Hydro and match that with some of our own climate action funding to bring a team of youth that were really focused on climate action, really at a grassroots level. I think that's so important because, young people are going to inherit the challenges that are in front of us with respect to the impacts of climate change. And so finding an opportunity to involve them in some of the solution making that has to happen seemed to make a lot of sense. We're hoping that experience will then lead to them perhaps pursuing more interest in this career. And so what I'm hoping is that other communities will replicate this model and learn from our lessons and make the programs even better moving forward. And certainly, Youth Climate Corps is something, wouldn't it be amazing if it made its way across our country, because there's no shortage of climate action work in front of us. And, again, I think young people bring a lot of insight and knowledge into this challenge and a lot of energy as well. And so I'm hoping this winning combination will be enjoyed by other communities in the future.
I'm Maddie. I work as a climate ambassador in Kamloops. I really enjoy focusing on how communities as a whole can take climate action and kind of start at that level rather than just rely on like federal policy change. With other jobs I've had, it's been more like everyone for themselves, and here it's like we're very team focused. There's Nick. He has all the cool facts, and there's Katie, and she's so kind and caring. And there's Shannon, and she's so bubbly and outgoing.
I think what drove me to work for the YCC is definitely, it gave me the opportunity to weave change in the community that made me who I am today. Working this summer with Youth Climate Corps has been life-changing, I think. It's been great. I can't even explain how grateful I am for it in this job opportunity.
Youth Climate Corps is super innovative, and it's the first organization I've seen doing this kind of thing and employing youth in these roles. It's fit well with what I kind of want for myself at this time in my life, which is I just graduated last year and I'll be going to university soon, so I think it does line up with my goals of sort of stepping out and becoming my own person.
I found Youth Climate Corps, and one of their main goals is to show youth that our time is valued and that what we do matters, especially in something like this where we're trying to support the community and better everyone's lives. It has opened the door in ways I couldn't have ever imagined. Youth Climate Corps is not only focused on giving us opportunities now, but they also want to make sure that when we're done with this summer program, we have opportunities after. They want to make sure that we are set up for success and that we can do what we want to do to make the world a better place.
It's been really interesting to kind of see the job opportunities in the city, especially for like sustainability.
Coming from having worked several jobs where it's the same thing every single shift, it is really nice to have some more variety and every day be like, okay, what are we doing today and where are we going today?
People seeing us out just in our community, reaffirms other people's beliefs that something needs to be done almost in a way. Like the more you see it, the more your heart needs to do it.
Good morning. How is everyone today? That's great.
So we're here on behalf of the city with their climate friendly home program that they're putting on. Yeah. It's something where if you want, you can register with the CPR code right here, and we just come into your house. We kind of just go over and look, kind of see where like you can advance your technology, and it can be as simple as just like putting these in your outlets to kind of prevent air coming in from your outside walls.
Interesting.
Our goal is to reach 400 houses, and the goal for those houses is to make them more energy efficient, so that not only are we reducing the community greenhouse gas emissions, but we're also saving those people money, because old houses that leak air and energy and everything like that cost people more money. Every light bulb that isn't energy efficient is like $200 more than an energy efficient one. So like simple things like that, letting people know that there's a bunch of little tiny things that they can do to their house to make it way more energy efficient is like kind of our goal. At the lowest level, which is where we are kind of at, we're able to make a lot of change. We're able to change people's lives. People are happier to come to the farmer's market on Saturdays riding their bike because they know that they're not going to have to lock it up somewhere and be scared every 5 minutes that someone's stolen it. If we're able to do that at this level, then who knows what I can do at a higher level.
I'm Greg Unger, and I am the Kamloops Farmers Market Manager. I do all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I like getting our permits in place, making sure we have toilets and an ATM, all the way to, processing vendor applications and setting up the layout of the market. But then I get to do really fun stuff like work with the Youth Climate Corps to roll out this pilot project, Bike Valet, which I'm super happy that we got going. I actually heard about the YCC through the city of Kamloops. A friend of mine, Marcia, she's also on the Kamloops Cycling Coalition, and she had brought up last year that it would be cool to have a bike valet. And so that started the ball rolling, got into discussions with the sustainability department at Kamloops. We initially had we're going to apply for a grant with the KCC, the Kamloops Cycling Coalition, but then the city stepped in and were like, actually, we have this Youth Climate Coalition coming in to help us, and we think they would be great at it. One thing I would absolutely love would be to turn Victoria Street downtown into a car-free street. I think that would be a bold, exciting plan, and I think it would make downtown real fun. You could have like huge patios, you could have pop-up markets every day.
My name is Margaret Archibald. I'm retired, and we are in the schoolyard of Stewartwood School, where the Youth Climate Corps looks after the bicycle valet parking in the most wonderful way. They're just a joy for everybody who turns up here. I am a member of the Kamloops Cycling Coalition, which is just a volunteer group of people who care about safe cycling and about cycling infrastructure, about safe bike storage, which is a big part of getting people on bicycles. And we were pretty excited when our sustainability manager told us that the YCC was coming on board this summer to support that kind of work with staffing, bicycle valet parking, and many other things as well. They're terrific. In Kamloops, 80% of the greenhouse gases are from cars, and by 2050, our goal is to have that reduced by 63%. So you tell me, how else are you going to get there? We really need this service all over and all year. And there is some talk of the city looking at, in fact, providing that, but they move slowly, and in the meantime, these folks are saving us. They're the age group that they are going to inherit what we have so badly messed up and are going to be passing on. And if that generation cares enough to do what they're doing, that gives me hope.
It's been quite fulfilling to me to have tangible results of my actions and of the team's actions. So one of the biggest things for me in that regard has been going to Butler Farm every week and just seeing every week how it's come along and developed and changed and advanced because of the things that I did last week or that we did last week. So it's been really powerful to me just to actually be able to see and feel that change.
When I think of a greener Kamloops, at least from my perspective, the first thing that comes to mind is sort of how we use our land and how the land around us in an urban environment can kind of be modified in a way that's like a little bit more environmentally friendly. So I think a big part of that is, how do we treat our yards? Do we use pesticides? Do we plant for pollinators? Things like that. And then also, how do we grow our food? Food is obviously something that we all need and something that's a big part of our lives. And I think even making the transition to just growing in a slightly more environmentally friendly way would actually make a really big difference for our environment.
I think my favorite part about working on Butler Farms is connecting with Mother Earth and being one with the earth, and just knowing that I'm helping solve a little bit of the problem. It's just like a little place where it's like, in the busyness of the town, you can like come here and it's just so calm, and like, you know, it's a good place because they're doing great things, so it makes it even better. Working in the environment has just gave me this understanding that our well-being is so intertwined with our land and our surroundings and our environment, and if we don't take care of what we're given, it directly affects who we are.
I don't think that sustainability or climate action means you have to let go of the things you love. I think it oftentimes means you have to change the things you love a little bit and adapt them, but I think that I think everyone can still enjoy their hobbies and love what they love.
I think there needs to be more jobs like this and more opportunities like this, and it's not up to the older people or the people above us. It's up to us to make our own change.
Ambitious climate action is a realistic goal. Like, we can cut down emissions, we can do everything to make sure that the earth is going to be around a bit longer.
If more people get involved, who knows, maybe it'll become countrywide, not just province-wide. And I think that'd be something that's amazing to see, because I think more youth need to know that they're valued and that they have purpose in the world.
Youth Climate Corps is really quite simple. Richard and I, who are both parents, are concerned about the future that we're leaving for our kids, but we don't just want to wring our hands about it, we want to do something about it. And it's very clear as parents in this part of the world that the best people to get involved in addressing climate change are the youth, who are going to be around to do the most amount of good work.
In some way, part of the Youth Climate Corps from the beginning is how to cultivate a culture of youth leadership. So people like John and I, who were instrumental at the beginning, have taken a little bit of a step back, allowing there to be space for this whole generation of youth leaders who have stepped forward.
We provide good green jobs to young people. We focus on building up the leadership in communities, and we get work done in building up climate action projects that communities deem as priorities.
Youth have so much knowledge. We need to listen and learn about what's happening. I think this intergenerational link bridge is really important, because everyone needs to learn on both sides. I think it's really important.
For me, the Youth Climate Corps experience was really an excellent opportunity to come back to the Kootenays and start to get involved in the community. I think there's so much going on around the Kootenays that's related or tied to climate activism and sustainability in general, and I think that was an opportunity for me to start meeting these people and these organizations and to start to learn about what's already going on and make those connections.
It gives you that community, you're working for the community, and you're also, kind of really shaping not only your own future, but your community's future, and you're able to engage in such a unique way and work on these really meaningful projects. And I think that it can really create such a strong foundation and great leadership skills. I think sometimes we talk about youth as future leaders, but a lot of the youth that I have met are incredible leaders now, and I think that those voices are so important, and they're important in our political system and within our communities. And so for everything that I'm able to do to try to make sure that all youth within British Columbia, that they are set up in a way and we're supporting them in a way that they can have a really good life now, but also have a really bright future to look forward to, so that they can really contribute back to our communities and our province.
We need community leaders and business leaders and political leaders to say, we're done talking about this, we're now going to do it. And the most effective and affordable and sustainable way to do this is to pay our youth in our own communities to do it. What we need is the political will to make that choice, to prioritize engaging our youth in building resilient communities.
I think there's another kind of hope that comes from actually meaningfully engaging in a adaptive and positive way with the reality of the challenges we face. And that kind of hope is like our body and our mind gets the sense that we can actually dig in and make a difference. And that's the kind of hope I'm witnessing.
Talk to your neighbors, talk to your community about this, get people excited about this. This is a new way of thinking about climate action where it's pro-social, we're giving people good jobs, we're building up leadership. It's abundance. Talk to the people in power. Your local government is very important for this, and don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to hear from you.
I think it's really important to surround ourselves with people that want the same things as us. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be connecting with people from all different perspectives, and we want a diverse group of peers, but it's also important to find those leaders and those pillars in our community who are going to drive the change that we want to see and that we can collaborate with. And yeah, finding those like-minded individuals and building your network of community around you is how I think we can achieve really big ends, because together we're just so much more powerful.